So in our last episode, if you saw it, if you didn't, go back and watch it now. But in our last episode, we talked about overcoming a failure mindset when we feel like we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing with our lives. But today we're going to go more in depth on how we actually overcome that, but how we overcome that with somebody else in our life. Welcome to the Five Squad. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Five Squad podcast. For those out there who do not know who we are, my name is Evan Andrews.
I'm Haley Andrews.
And this is my lovely wife, and we are here on episode 37.
Holy moly.
This is episode 37. Can you believe that we've been doing this?
The episodes are older than me.
Me too. Wow, that's crazy. That is...
I know. Last time you said we've been doing this for almost 9 months, and I was like, what?
We do 4 episodes a month.
I know, but I'm just saying, it doesn't feel like that to me.
Yeah, we're rolling through this.
We are rolling.
This is kind of a semi part 2.
Yeah.
Of what we talked about last week in the realm of failure and kind of how we overcome that. And
we're always going to encounter failure, like
always,
point blank. We're always going to, and let's talk about how to overcome those feelings.
This one is going to be how we overcome it, but with somebody else in our corner.
Yep.
Right? So I'm happy to be in your corner.
Are you?
By the way, are you happy to be in my corner?
Yeah. Are you serious? I'm like your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
Go team, go.
She really is, yeah. Yeah, just keep cheering. I like that. I like that. But
oh gosh, I love you.
So I love you too. So in failing, and I guess this can go into like feeling like we're failing in our relationships.
Okay, yeah.
Too, right?
Yeah.
But what would you deem if you felt like you were failing in your relationship with me? Like,
okay,
what would that look like for you?
I mean, I think anytime like you don't structure enough time with your spouse, it might, well, for me at least, it feels like I'm failing. I think it feels like I'm failing if we don't have time with each other, or we don't have time to talk, or I don't have time to hear what you're going through.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like for me.
Yeah. Well,
or like I'm not good enough for you.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. No, I agree with that. I think so. Part of this that I want to get into is not so our relationships, like obviously our external failures, like our things that we're dealing with as just
ourselves?
an individual.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Like
it overflows into your relationship.
Our relationship. Yeah. And I definitely know that's true for me.
Yeah, for me too. Like, I mean, when I'm not doing the best in my parenting space or my own mental health journey, I think it definitely overspills into my relationship with you. And I think for me, I tend to, instead of, taking it out on myself, I take it out on you.
No.
And that I can't be healthy, for sure.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. I do, well, in where you may do that, I kind of do the opposite, where I kind of like recluse in, and I'm like, oh yeah, just, whatever. I'm just kind of going through it. But that's my own thing to kind of overcome.
I think you definitely do that. I mean, you kind of take it in and leave it there instead of, sharing it with me so that I can help you and I can, cheer you on and out of it.
Yeah. So, because I know that like when you're stressed out about something and you express it,
yeah,
it definitely affects my willingness to want to continue on doing the things that are mine, not necessarily anything that you're like work or whatever.
Right.
Like I know that when you're feeling a certain type of way, it does impact my willingness to like continue on my path.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing for me though. Like when you're in a down space or a down spiral, like I feel like I have to like really ramp up my own self for you, but if I don't know what's going on, like it definitely bleeds for sure.
Yeah. I honestly, I would say that we both probably.
I was just about to say, do not even say I struggle more.
But how we speak to ourselves internally.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's so funny. We talk about this a lot. Like, we have these inner monologues kind of going, and you know, as we grow, in our own identity, we tend to talk a lot more negatively to ourselves. But like our son, he always talks about how his internal monologue is so positive.
Good. Yeah.
He's like, I just love the way like my voice inside my head speaks to me.
Yeah.
But I think as adults, we have more to worry about, more to stress about, and it leads to more of a negative self-talk trap, like a mind trap kind of.
So what do you do whenever you realize that you're doing that? Because I know what I do now.
What I do is I share it. Like, I have to share it out loud, because if I don't give it a voice, or it will just literally tear me apart. And if that means sharing it with you, or sharing it with my women's group, or sharing it in prayer, like, I have to get it out, because if I don't, it will literally like implode. Yeah. You know?
So I get mine out more in a physical way.
Workout, right?
Like, I'll either go work out or like go on a walk or something like that, which can get me in trouble, because that, if I'm not careful, that can lead to like task avoidance and things like that. So I have to like really understand when it's the right time to do that, and like allocate the right amount. Because sometimes it can be a simple, like, just take the dog to like take him on a little quick, like 5-minute walk, and like come back and restructure.
But I will say,
mind.
I think it's important for you to find a way to share when you are in a negative self-talk kind of mentality, because what I think you struggle with is if you keep it inside, then I can't pour positive and pour love into you, right? Like you do to me. But I also think we need to do better at that. Like, if we can share it out loud, we can pour into each other.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that, and that's partially my fault. But one thing I have been doing more of is like praying in the morning.
Yeah,
like I have right when I pour the first pancake, like I turn around and
turn on your thing.
Like literally, I go over to the couch and like get on my knees and like pray.
What?
About my day and like what I want to do, and check in your somebody.
I'm like really blown away by that. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been trying to really put that out into the universe and what I want, and speak to God the way that, I don't want to say like I'm told to, but like,
no, I mean, like, that's definitely true. You're putting
like sharing
a
the
voice,
gratitude, to the universe, and to what, not necessarily like what I want to get out of it, but just like being grateful for the opportunities.
Yep, absolutely.
So I've been trying to do that more, and that does help me like start my day off a little bit better.
Absolutely.
So it's weird, because it's like, I almost said right there, it's been working, but it's like I have been going through like a really rough patch for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah.
But, I think that's the trade-off. That's like, I'm doing this, I'm asking for these things.
Right.
And then like I'm getting the challenges from that. So
it's really true. Like, you put it out there, right? And it's weird how God, you pray for patience, right? He doesn't just give you the patience. He gives you the challenges to show up patiently. But I think putting a voice to those failures that you're feeling and sharing them together, we're praying for each other, we're uplifting each other, and we're empowering each other along the way. Because if we don't, we just feel bad.
Yeah. You're really good.
I did it again.
You're really good at the segues, because you just said kind of like one of our discussion topics here is, empowering each other. And I think one of the ways that you do that, especially with the kids, is through like validation of either their emotions or, when they do the right, not the right things, but like when they handle a situation the right way, which I did a really good job with this with Callie the other day, when she came home, and she just wanted to eat ice cream. Like she had already had some, and then she wanted some more because of she's just recently got braces. So she's trying to like heal her teeth in the way that she can. But I told her like, Callie, you can't just have more ice cream. Like you've already had some. We're going to eat dinner in like an hour. And then she just said, okay, yeah, no problem. And then she sat back down, and then I told her to come over to me, and I was like, do you see how you just handled that? That was the best way to handle that. Like you were told that you couldn't have something, and you went with what you were, expected to do in that situation.
So I think validation is, gosh, again with the emotions for me. I think validation is, you say it's like my strong suit, but it's because I went through life never feeling any validation for how I felt or how I acted or anything. Like that's all I ever wanted. So for me, and I know this is a me thing, but when you do things well, I want to tell you that you did them well, because we have an inner monologue that is negative, I think, just as adults maybe. But like I have a vivid feeling or memory of being a kid and just not feeling good enough. And I would have loved to have heard like that I did something well. And so I want to be that for you. I want to be that for them. And it works.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think it's like soft, but we're parents and we can be the soft place for them to land.
Yeah.
And I think us as spouses, we should be the soft place, because the world is rough and it's hard, and nobody's going to be nice to you because they owe you something.
Right.
So like in our home, whether it's us as, a couple or us as parents or them as like, we should be that validation as much as possible, because the world will give the negative as much as they can. They want to break you.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I want to build you up.
Yeah.
Whether it's you or them.
Well, it's funny that you said what you just said about like, you never heard any of that when you were a kid. I never heard like negative stuff, right? I mean, probably my mom probably did a really good job of,
Yeah.
like being more positive for me, or which I don't have any like standout moments that I like vividly remember. But I don't have any like that negative side. So for me, like my struggle is like, why do I do it now?
Right.
Right? Like, why do I put myself down when I'd never heard it before?
Right.
So it's just,
I think it's
crazy.
I think it's a self-sabotage thing. Like, we don't think we deserve success. Like, that's,
yeah.
we don't think we deserve the life that we want, right? So instead of like allowing ourselves to get it, we sabotage ourselves from getting it. And then we have like a reasoning that we didn't get it.
Yeah.
And I know I recognize that a lot. But it's important to see that coming from your partner, almost more sometimes than when you can identify it within yourself, right? Because if I can see that you're going down a path of, negative self-talk or self-sabotage or just like a downward spiral, and I can uplift you, empower you, and validate you, I think that's my job. Kind of like today when we were talking about something and you said, it's not that bad. And I said, you see how you said bad? Like reframing the way we say certain things to be more positive for each other and sharing that with each other, leads to growth, leads to positivity, and overall leads to more of a positive mentality moving forward, right? Yeah. When we feel maybe like we're failing.
Yeah. And that's how you hold each other accountable.
Absolutely.
For having those right mind frames and those shifts. And I think you do a really, really good job of holding me accountable. I try to do that for you the best that I can. Sometimes I probably don't approach it the right way.
I think you do an amazing job.
Well, I appreciate that.
But I think us supporting each other man, golly, this is just so important to me, you guys. Like, I feel like we do this so well. I mean, and I think, in one of the previous episodes, you mentioned how, 50% of people end up divorced. And we both come from that negative 50%. And so we work really hard at this. So it's all really important to me. But I think when we empower each other and when we validate each other and when we help each other grow when we don't feel our best, our kids see that and they see, that it's okay to feel like you're failing, or it's okay to have a bad day, or it's okay to help someone be better. And then they see that this interaction and this relationship is a ebb and flow. Mm-hmm. And I think that matters, like they can see through us how to be a great partner. And that doesn't have to be, in their marriage one day, but a friend or a coworker or whatever. We're giving them, we're modeling that for them. And I think that's something I didn't see as a kid. And I didn't see, I don't think I really saw it ever until we do it. And that's something that I really take a lot of pride in, like what we do together matters and how we help each other out of the pit. Hopefully that's what we're doing here, showing everybody else how to do it, because it matters.
Again, we are not relationship gurus at all.
No, I'm just trying to be what I didn't see.
We want to model what we want.
Right.
Right. And if we want a healthy relationship, then we have to be that
for each other.
Yep. But that brings us to another end of an episode here, and overcoming the failure mentality of and how we do that as a couple in a relationship.
Yep.
So, if you got to the end of this episode, you are the 1%ers out there that are our tried and true followers. But if you enjoyed this episode, give us some feedback. Let us know. Like it. Comment
Share
on it.
Share it with someone that might need some,
Yeah. If you know somebody going through a tough time in their relationship and they feel like they're failing, this might be something that they need to hear. But we appreciate everybody that does interact and stick around and watch especially our long, full episodes. If Mom, I know that you're out there, you watch them.
My grandma.
Ooh,
love you, Nano.
Nano. Yeah, we know Nano loves these just as much as we like making them, right? But we're going to leave you, again, the way that we leave you every single episode. And then just to remember that every day is a new chance to get it right.
Keep pushing forward and stay inspired.
We'll see you next time.